Hey there, Roosevelt. Mr. Chris here, your tech coach, talking to you a little bit about your eBinder or your student website. If you don't know what that is, or if you don't remember, last year I probably came into one of your classes and had you create a website about yourself. It's going to look something similar to this. If you were absent on that day, if you don't have it, that's perfectly okay. We can make a new one, in which case you'll follow a different video and some steps which your teacher will share with you for you to go through and make your site. This video is for students who already have a site. Basically, in order to get back to your site, if you're starting to remember that you have one of these, right, where you kind of, had your name and background, and then you put some information about yourself, you had your classes at the top. You might not have done anything for those classes. If your teacher didn't ask you to, that's okay. But you might remember that you have this. How you would get here, right? Well, you can just open up a new tab. You can go to the dots if you want to go to Google Sites, SITES for website. You can hit that button, it'll take you, or you could just type here too, or in Google, Google Sites. However you want to get there is perfectly fine. Into your school account, your PPS account, you'll be able to click on your site and see it here under recent sites. I just have a lot because I have a lot of different sites that I work on and lots of student sites. That's why I have so many, but yours should be right there. You'd click on it and now you're in that editing platform, right? If you want to see what the published version looks like, you would click the preview button just to remind you of that, and then you see your finished site. You can click around it just like you would any other website. And you might see that you're satisfied with it. You might see that you want to make changes to it. All of that is perfectly okay. What this video is about and what your teacher is asking you to do is update your site for this school year. You can change the background photos and change things around if you would like. But what you need to do is go back to the editing platform. Just click the plus mark if you were in the preview. If you got your site a different way, sometimes you'll see that you have editing access over here. There's a little edit button that will be there. That's fine too. You can click that. As long as you end up in this space where you're editing your site, that's perfectly fine. On the left-hand side is kind of all the information and content that you've added to your site. On the right-hand side, if you remember, are the tools that you can use to add content to your site. You scroll down, you'll see there's lots of different things like YouTube videos that you can add. You can add image carousels, so a series of images that will move. Lots of different stuff. But what you're focused on today in this video is setting your site up for this new school year. Most of you are going to have it so that your site looks something like this. It says home, you got some about me information, and then you're going to have some different pages, right? I could click on them and go to the different pages. I'll just do that, I guess. Again, you may or may not have content up here depending on what your teachers asked you to do on here or not. If you don't have any content, that's okay. We're going to continue to do better every year until we are using our eBinders or our student websites across the school. But wherever you're at right now is perfectly fine. So you might have a blank page just like this one. What you were going to do is, if you were in 9th grade last year, click on new page over here under pages, right? Click there. This pops up and you type 9th grade, right? If you were in 10th grade, you type 10th grade for last year. Basically what you're doing is creating one main page that you can drag up here, not under home in terms of like this where there would be a drop down menu, right? I don't want it like that. I want it so that it's on its own. And then all you have to do is click and drag your classes or pages from last year underneath, right, your grade, whether it's 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, whatever it was. You would just drag it underneath. So now you'll see that they're showing up under 9th grade, right? It's not messing up anything. It's not changing your pages. It's just changing where they were. And what this does is make it so it's nice and organized. So you have your home page, you have your pages from last year, whatever grade that was, 9th grade, they're all under there. for this grade, this year, right, if now you're in 10th grade, you would just go ahead and type 10th grade or 11th grade or 12th grade. You would hit enter, and now you have a tab up here for 10th grade. The next step after that is to go through and to create a page for each of your classes. So I would just go back under pages to new page, right? And then I would type whatever my first period class is, English, PE, whatever it is, I just type it, and then I grab it and I just drag it under 10th grade. Type my second period class, whatever that is. Maybe it's science, you can say biology, you can say AP, whatever. The specific name is fine too, or just the generic title as well. And you're gonna just wanna continue that for all of your classes, every class, including electives, PE, all of them, specials. You'll wanna create a separate page for it that should all then be underneath 10th grade. And if for whatever reason something's out of place, right, like your new math page is up there, you just drag it, pull it down, and then it'll be under 10th grade. Again, what this does is it'll say home, 9th, 10th grade, and then, so on. Next year you'd have 11th grade, and then your senior year, 12th grade, and you'll have a whole website or an e-binder. I'd have to move these so they're in the right spot. But you'd have a whole website or e-binder year after year with all of your classes and then all the content that your teachers are having you add. So again, if I look at this, right, and I go to the preview mode right here, you'll see, right, that I have home, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade, right? You don't have to have all that up right now. If I had you create a website last year and you just have 9th grade and you made that, that's great. And if you're now a 10th grader and you list out all your classes, that's great. That's what we're looking for, is for you to get that structure built. If your teacher gives you more time and you're in 10th grade now, right, you can do a couple of different things, just like last year. You can personalize each of these pages. So I'm on the math page. This blue background doesn't represent math to me, so I'm going to go to change image over here. I'm going to go to select image, and I'm going to find an image, probably by searching the internet, that has to do with that particular math. You could type algebra, you could type geometry or AP Calc or whatever it is that you're in, right? You can type that in here and you can search for it, and you can find a picture that you think represents math that's visually appealing, that will then be that background for that, right? You're going to make different choices for different pages, have the content match the class, and then underneath that, you might not put anything in. Just remember that under insert, your math teacher might have you insert things. Easiest if you use content blocks, like I click here, and now I have a place to put a picture or a video, I have a title, and I can type, and it makes it look more professional and high quality without much work. When I click on the plus mark here, it gives me lots of options like YouTube videos. I can find one on whatever math skill we were focused on. Or if I create a video, right, I could get it from my drive and put it in there. You can also do that over here, text box, images, drive. If you scroll down, you'll see all the options underneath, like the YouTube video, a map, docs, slides. But if you create something in your Google Drive or your teacher created it, it'll be there under Drive too, and you can insert it into your math page or to any of your other pages. So basically, again, today, all you're doing, right, is this, where you went from where you had all your separate classes from 9th grade or 10th grade or whatever, just kind of across the top up here, and you're organizing it now by grade, by clicking on this, typing, 9th grade, making that new 9th grade page, right? If it's in the wrong spot, you just pull it up, and then again, if you had a class, right, like your English class or whatever it was from last year, you just pull it underneath. That's all you got to do, and then it'll be under that 9th grade tab. I'm going to delete the 9th grade one because I already have one, so you can see a better final product. But there you go. If I go to the preview, right, I'll see it says home, it says 9th grade, my classes are under there. I could click on these. I go to 10th grade, my classes are under there, I can click on these, and that's what yours will look like. If you were in 10th grade last year, you're not going to have 9th grade, you'll only have 10th grade, you'll have 11th grade if you're 11th grader this year. Last year, if you were in 11th grade, right, you'll have an 11th grade one, you'll have a 12th grade one for this year, but not a 10th or a 9th grade one. That's okay. Going forward, every year we want you to have a new section of pages for your classes, but not this year. That's okay. Again, you can add content to this as your teacher gives you time and specific instructions on what they want you to add to your specific page. If there's some new information in your life that you want to add to your home page, right? Things have changed for you since last year. You have different family stuff or hobbies or whatever it is that you already have. But remember, you don't have to use these 3 examples. I want you to add content about yourself that's appropriate, right? That's great. Do that if you have some time. But that's the basics of how you update the portfolio. Other than that, remember that you're going to need to hit publish now that you've made some changes for those changes to go live on the final version of your, or not final, but the updated version of your website. Remember that this is the link that you would share to share your website with people. You would copy that, and that's what you'd give in an email or text or whatever. Remember that you'll also want to share your website with your current teachers. So your new teachers from this school year, you can just right here type in their name, right, and find their emails. You should be able to look on Trivery to find them if you don't know, or look on any other schedule that you have if you have a printed one. Once you do that, right, like if I was sending it to one of my teachers, I would just unclick the notify box because I don't want them to get a bunch of emails. I would just unclick that, it's courteous, and then hit share. That way your teacher or whomever is going to be able to edit your website if you need help with that. And you can also go ahead and invite me to, if you didn't last year, I'm rbach@pps.net, right? rbach@pps.net. Invite me, and that way I can help fix things or edit things too if I need to. If you didn't last year, you hit share, and then now those new teachers have access to your site as well. Just a caveat or a warning: don't ever invite any students to edit your site. If you do this, it can mess your site up, or somebody can mess your site up by accident, right? But we don't want that to happen. And then don't worry about any of these other things for now. It's just getting that site set up. All right, thank you. Let me know if you have any questions. Really excited about this and getting everything updated. All right.